Welcome to What's Hot in UAE, your go-to online magazine for all things cool in our cities. Whether you're a fan of massive concerts, exclusive sneaker drops, buzzing nightlife, the latest in crypto trends, or the latest in lifestyle, we've got you covered. From the hottest events to the coolest hidden gems, we bring you the inside scoop on everything happening in the scene. So, let's dive into some of what's happening this week right here on What's Hot in UAE. Let's get started.
Welcome to the deep dive. And today we are diving deep into Dubai, like really deep.
Into the dirhams.
Yeah, into the dirhams.
Yeah.
We're talking about the cost of living, the nitty gritty. What does it actually cost to be here in this dazzling city?
That's right. We've got a whole stack of reports and articles all about that, all about what it actually costs to call Dubai home.
Yeah, and trust me, living here, that question comes up a lot, especially, when you go to the grocery store. You're like, I just came here for dates and hummus.
It's all about perspective, isn't it? We're going to be unpacking the numbers, but also like what sits behind those numbers. Why do things cost what they cost?
Yeah.
Everything from, global food prices, which I know everyone's talking about these days, to, government policies. How does that all play in?
Okay, so first up, can we just address the elephant, or I don't know, the expat in the room?
Right.
88% of Dubai is the population, is expats.
It's huge.
It's wild. It's like the United Nations of brunch out there every weekend.
I know. It's amazing. It's what makes Dubai so dynamic. But you're right. That level of influx does really impact the cost of living.
Yeah.
Think about the demand for housing, school places, even just like going out to get a decent cup of coffee. It all adds up.
Speaking of adding up, let's talk food because, oh boy, my credit card bill has some thoughts on this.
Yes.
The reports mentioning food inflation hit 6.5% last year. Ouch.
Yeah.
Is that just like global stuff, or is there like a Dubai spin on it?
I mean, there's definitely the global factor. We can't ignore that. But Dubai has its own little twist, and that is, that the UAE imports something like 90% of its food.
90%. So like my avocado toast is only as good as the supply chain.
Basically. Yeah.
From like wherever avocados come from.
You've got it. That reliance on imports means that any kind of global hiccup we see, whether it's, weather, politics, those supply chain snags that we've all gotten to know and tolerate,
Yes.
they get amplified here in the UAE. You feel those price swings more intensely, especially for your everyday groceries.
It's true. Like going to Carrefour,
Yes.
which is like our
local.
our big supermarket here, it's always an adventure.
It is.
Both for my appetite and my bank balance.
And your bank balance, I feel that, and dining out, yeah, that's definitely feeling it too.
Yeah.
But I will say, the report did mention those increases are starting to ease up a little bit as we go into 2024.
Okay, some hope for our wallets.
A little glimmer of hope.
Little glimmer, but if imports are driving up costs on one hand, there's got to be a silver lining somewhere, right?
You're thinking like a true Dubai resident. Look at you. And yes, you're right. Think petrol.
Okay.
It's so affordable here, thanks to the UAE being a major oil producer, of course.
That almost makes up for my avocado toast, almost.
Who knows?
It's a good point, though, because it does create this interesting thing where, like, transport here is quite manageable.
It's amazing. Yeah, you have this situation where your transport costs are really reasonable, even when other things are getting perhaps a little bit more expensive.
Right. And then the topic that I think makes everyone in Dubai
Oh, I know where we're going.
take a nervous sip of their latte: rent.
Yes.
So the report is saying that Dubai and Abu Dhabi, they saw rent increases of over 20%. And these are,
In some areas, yeah.
shall we say, aspirational
Yeah, aspirational areas.
neighborhood.
It was a wild ride.
Yeah.
Especially in those really sought after spots like, think downtown Dubai, you're looking at for a 2-bedroom apartment, anything between like 150,000 dirhams a year to 200,000 dirhams a year. That's...
I think I just heard my bank account gasp dramatically.
It's not small.
But is that sustainable? Like, can it keep going up like that?
So the good news is the report suggests it is starting to stabilize.
Ugh.
So new housing projects are being completed, and that should hopefully offer some relief in the long run.
Okay, some light at the end of the rental tunnel. I like it.
A little bit of hope.
Yeah, a little bit of hope. But what about those of us who aren't ready to like move into the Burj Khalifa just yet? Is there's like any hope for the rest of us?
Absolutely. And this is where it gets interesting. I think the report highlighted that if you're willing to kind of venture a little bit further out, Emirates like Sharjah or Ajman offer a much, shall we say, friendlier cost of living.
Okay, so it's that classic trade-off, the buzz of Dubai versus,
Right.
a slightly calmer pace of life.
Yeah, and with the UAE's infrastructure, which is, fantastic, we're talking amazing highways, really good public transport, that commute might not be as daunting as you might initially think.
And think of the savings on parking.
Exactly.
Speaking of savings and dirhams, let's talk about salaries, because the report's mentioning an average salary in Dubai of around 16,775 dirhams a month,
Wow.
which on paper sounds
It's a lot.
pretty good, right?
It's definitely up there, it's true. And, sectors like finance, tech, real estate, they tend to occupy those top spots on the salary charts, absolutely. But I will say, it's an average, isn't it? It varies hugely depending on your industry, your experience, your negotiation skills, of course.
Yeah, because my negotiation skills for a discount on dates at the supermarket are not going to get me a CEO salary.
Probably not, although you never know, but it's a really good point because you see those headlines, right?
Yeah.
About these huge Dubai salaries, and it's really only one part of the picture.
Yeah, and what about Emiratis themselves? How does this play out for Emiratis?
That's where the government comes in. So the UAE has this system of benefits, which is designed to kind of ensure a really good quality of life for its nationals.
Okay.
And we're talking like education, subsidies for education, housing assistance, healthcare benefits. It all adds up to a really strong safety net.
Right, and that makes sense. Okay, so we've talked about the rent and those maybe stabilizing, hopefully. We've talked about those rising grocery prices. We've talked about those tempting salaries.
Yes.
But there's one thing we haven't talked about that always comes up when we talk about Dubai. And honestly, it's one of the things I love most about living here.
Are you talking about the safety?
Yeah. You can walk around at night and feel really safe.
Yeah.
Which it's not people don't just say it. The numbers back it up.
They do. They really do. You're right. Abu Dhabi, Dubai, consistently ranked as some of the safest cities in the world. And I think it's more than just the low crime rates. It's the infrastructure. It's the fact that you see police, there's good lighting. All of those things contribute to this feeling of safety and security, which honestly is priceless.
It's so true. And it's something that you factor in, I think.
Definitely.
Especially as a woman, being able to walk around at night and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It's sadly not a given everywhere.
It's so true, so important, and it's something that people definitely do factor in, I think, when they're thinking about moving here, even if they know that it might come with, a higher cost of living in other areas.
Yeah, it's about finding that
trade-off. Yeah.
It works for you. It's true. It's like that thing everyone says when you move here. You win some, you pay for some.
Right.
But in Dubai, it's you win some and you pay for some and then you win some more. It just depends what your priorities are.
Exactly. And what are you willing to be flexible on? For some people, it's all about those career opportunities, right? You've got these booming industries here of finance, tech, tourism, you name it. People are willing to kind of, maybe have a smaller living space or a slightly longer commute because they want to be part of that Dubai energy.
It's true. And for other people, it's about that lifestyle, that sunshine, 300 days a year.
That's a big draw.
Being able to just hop on a plane and go explore a new part of the world, or let's be honest,
Yes.
the fact that brunch is a competitive sport here.
It's true. And don't forget those tax-free salaries.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge for a lot of people. Being able to keep more of what you earn makes a big difference, especially when you're, thinking about those living costs.
That's true. Although, speaking from experience, those tax-free dirhams can disappear faster than you can say designer handbag if you're not careful.
Dubai knows how to tempt you.
It does. It really does. There's a lot of shiny things.
Oh, for sure. From that luxury shopping to amazing, Michelin-starred dining experiences. It's very easy to get kind of swept up in all of it. But, here's the thing. I think whether you are, a high flyer in the DIFC or you're on a, slightly more modest budget in Dira, there are ways to make Dubai work for you.
Okay.
It's all about kind of, finding those hidden gems, those local places where you can get a taste of real authentic Dubai without having to,
Give me an example.
Okay, let me think.
What's your go-to, your little hidden gem?
Have you been to that little cafeteria? It's in Satwa, Karak tea, shawarma, under 10 dirhams.
Oh, the best.
You can't beat it, honestly.
This is what I'm talking about, is that balance, right?
Yeah.
You can have the glitz and glamour, but you can also be smart.
Exactly.
So if there's someone listening right now, maybe they're daydreaming about Dubai, but they're also like staring down their spreadsheet. What's your advice to them?
Come prepared.
Okay.
Do your research, really think about those numbers, be realistic about what you can afford and what your expectations are. Because Dubai is a city of contrast. It can be incredibly luxurious, but it can also be surprisingly affordable if you know where to look. But I think more than anything, come with an open mind, a sense of adventure, and a willingness to kind of really embrace a culture that's unlike anywhere else in the world.
I love that. Okay, so I think the question is Dubai worth the hype?
The age-old question.
Are the skyscrapers worth the dirhams?
Right.
I guess, only you can answer that for yourself, but hopefully this deep dive is giving you like a little glimpse into what it actually costs to live in this amazing city, the highs, the lows,
So in between.
and everything in between. And hey, if you're ever in Satwa, maybe I'll see you at that cafeteria.
Yeah, come say hi.
You'll know it's us because there'll be a queue of people behind us.
Desperate for Carrick.
Exactly. All right, until then, happy exploring.
Happy exploring.